What's up, everyone? Jason Gilbo here at JGilbo11. Take a look at some GPP bats for tonight's slate. Got just a small 5 games. Coors is going to suck a lot of ownership out of it. Expect Coors to be chalky. I mean, you can play around with some of the back half guys as far as, Trevor Story, Grichuk, Diaz, Tommy Pham's probably going to be a popular play. Tony Wolters. We'll get to that game here, but it's going to suck up a lot of the ownership tonight. So if you're looking to go elsewhere, there are a couple other games. Most of these games are in bad ballparks, though. 3 out of the 5 are. Looking at Houston and Baltimore first, Dallas Keuchel making a return against Wade Miley. Baltimore certainly contrarian to the effects of like Wellington Castillo, Mark Trumbo, Manny Machado, M. Jones, or Joey Ricard or something like that from the right side. It's contrarian. I don't know if it's a move that I'm going to be willing to make. You can make the case, Keuchel might not be 100% healthy, but I wouldn't believe that the Astros at this point would let him pitch if he wasn't. So I'm for the most part staying away. He just rolls a ton of ground balls. That bullpen's tough. They're not going to get much late in the game. So on the Astros side, though, there's a lot in play. Going up against Wade Miley, 326 WOBA to righties this year, 35% hard contact rate, walking a ton of bats, home runs starting to clean up. We saw him after his last start against the Blue Jays. He wasn't bad, but before that, struggled a little bit against Detroit as we finally got to that. Still walking a ton of guys. I like George Springer here, cheap on both sides. The right-handed bats are in play. Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa are intriguing pivots away from Coors, high-priced bats. They'll draw lower ownership just because of that. Marwin Gonzalez is an intriguing GPP option tonight. I'm hoping he goes a little bit overlooked, but even guys like Alex Bregman, Gurriel, I don't mind for cheap right-handed bats against Miley here. Look at that Houston team, over 4.5 total at home. It's not a bad place. In a decent spot there as well. So Chicago, Los Angeles, John Lackey versus Brandon McCarthy. McCarthy hasn't been bad this year. He's kind of one of those guys where, I'm not particularly thrilled with going up against. He does give up a decent amount of, average to hard contact against right-handed and left-handers. Ground ball rate's decent. He's just one of those guys who's going to go out there and probably throw about 5 innings, 2 to 3 earned runs, and that's about it. And then you get a tough Dodgers pen. I don't mind the lefties here. Anthony Rizzo's red hot. He's an intriguing spinoff away from Carpenter and Mark Reynolds, and he's going to cost you a little bit. Chris Bryant's, same way against Jerko and Arenado. So, you do have a couple of pivots you can make in this game, and the prices are priced up. You're just going to course knock. It's more of an ownership leverage play than anything. But I think you can make the case for guys like Kyle Schwarber, Jason Hayward. Hoping Miguel Montero can find the lineup, but would be a lefty against McCarthy, I would consider. So Cubs lefties and the 2 big bats are certainly leverage plays away from Coors. You look at Los Angeles. I'm curious to see their ownership tonight. You look at Lackey, 369 WOBA to lefties. It's a lot of 2.70 home runs per 9. Corey Seager in a really good spot. I love the price tag on FanDuel. Yes, Money Grandal. Cody Bellinger, I'm intrigued with. Chase Utley is a punt play you can consider tonight as well. He's only $3K on DraftKings at second base. I don't mind lefty bats here for Dodgers against Lackey, who, has shown a little bit of an issue with them this year. So that's kind of where I'm sticking with this game. It's more 1-offs and 2-offs, if anything. Mets and Pirates, bad ballpark again here, but Garrett Cole, Zach Wheeler, definitely 2 above average right-handed arms. Garrett Cole does allow a ton of hard contact to lefties, 38%, 1.59 home runs per 9 as well. PNC, he does kind of fix things a little bit, but still the hard contact's there. Conforto would be a crazy pivot away from Blackman, given that there are similar price tags. Jay Bruce, Neil Walker, Lucas Duda, Drew Cabrera. I'm kind of growing more intrigued with the Mets as the day goes on as contrarian low-owned plays tonight. So if you're looking to kind of mix and match with Coors, I don't mind the Mets to kind of do that with. So that potential is there. Looking at the Pirate side of things, I feel like they're a little bit overpriced. The one guy I will take a look at is Gregory Polanco, who's back into the lineup. Coming off a home run yesterday. It's good to see, given the fact that he's been out for a little bit. So I don't mind Polanco as a one-off here. Adam Frazier, a little bit overpriced now, but he's hitting the ball really well. Josh Bell, a cheap value play if you are paying down at first base. So there is that potential there for the Pirates lefties. But getting to cores here, Kyle Freeland versus Adam Wainwright. I'm definitely more intrigued with Rockies bats, and I think that's going to be the general public as well. You look at Freeland, I mean, good ground ball rate, 66%, 289 Woba to righties. The Cardinals are a good GPP fade tonight. Rockies are a little bit more riskier, but I think kind of just maybe being off the Cardinals will help. But I still don't mind Fowler, Tommy Pham, Jed Jerko, Matt Carpenter in this one. I mean, the righties, lefties are still in play. The only lefty I would not play is Colton Wong if he's there. The Cardinals are in play, still a good ballpark there. Given it's the second day, the first day is always tough, especially coming off of a Dodger series. We saw that happen last night where they got shut out. But Kyle Freeland, he's not a gas can. I mean, he does roll a ton of ground balls, so there is that potential where the Cardinals maybe lower expectations a little bit, but they're in play. I'm just not super excited about them. I'm more excited against stacking against Wainwright. As most will be, 368 Woba to lefties, 39% hard contact rate. Looking at righties, 360 Woba. I don't mind here 1 through 8. Really, I mean, Trevor Story, Tony Wolters are more your GPP plays. The only guy I don't ever really get excited about is DJ LeMahieu at second base. He's always a little bit overpriced. So, Atlanta, San Francisco, wind blowing out a little bit, but a really low total here. Ty Blatch, Mike Fultonowitz, both viable GPP guys or even cash game guys if you're looking to stack cores. Low total. The only guy I'll really consider on the Brave side is Matt Kemp at a cheaper price on DraftKings, 4,300. You look at Blatch, I mean, not bad. 347 Woba to righties. I mean, his worst game came against Cincinnati. That kind of skewed his numbers a little bit, but doesn't miss a lot of bats, which helps out Kemp. I'll look at him. The only downside is the ballpark. Outside of that, I mean, Tyler Flowers, reverse pitcher. Brandon Phillips, I'm not too intrigued with using. He's a little bit more expensive than I'd like. If you look in San Francisco, I do like Brandon Belt. I do like Brandon Crawford as two cheap guys. Just looking at Fultonowitz, I mean, the usual struggles with lefties, 371 Woba. So those are guys I consider, but this isn't a game to get excited about. I have more like the pitching. I do like the hitters there. So let's wrap things up with the GPP bets. You can head over to DaveFancyCafe.com for our great tools and content.